Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Ooh, I got you zoomed in there. This is Amy with Gingerbud Creations, and today we are going to make some Christmas stud earrings. So as you can see from the size of my hands, these are going to be fairly small. I've got you really zoomed in so you can see what I'm doing. I have already mixed up my resin. I'm using 2-part epoxy today. I filled these up, tried to fill these up about 1/3 full. It's difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It helps if you use a pipette. This is definitely very helpful, and you can just get whatever you need. And it also is helpful if you overfill it, that you can use this. Looks like I underfilled this, but no worries. So this video, I wanted to do a few things beforehand so that you guys, last video was long. I'm trying not to do that. It's July, it's hotter than Hades here in North Central Texas. So I'm very happy to be crafting inside, and let's just make some Christmas in July earrings. Once I poured the epoxy, the 2-part epoxy, we're gonna be putting some little filler in. We're gonna let it set. We'll come back, we'll put a colored backing on it, and then we'll also do some posts. So first what I want to do is show you, we're going to use these little polymer clay slices. I got these off Amazon. So I'm just going to pour some in a dish here, just so that I'm not taking my tools and putting them in the bag if they have resin on them. So we'll start off slow. I'm going to grab some little tiny snowflakes, and it looks like it might be too big for that, so we're going to put them in these holes. So we'll do some blues. I love this mold, but I will say it throws me off because for some reason these top 2 rows, with how tiny they are, they only did, or they didn't do even numbers. So you're gonna end up with this mold. I end up with an odd number of these small guys, which was kind of funny. Oh, so I guess that guy's gonna go in there. All right, so we're gonna fill these up. And one of the things I like about the 2-part epoxy is you can definitely get your not definitely, but it's a good chance that the bubbles will work themselves out, where with your UV resin, sometimes if you set it too quick and you don't see a bubble, that bubble's in there. So now, I love UV resin, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you find little bonuses to the epoxy, and this is one of the bonuses I've found is with these little earrings, I tend to get better luck, if that makes sense. All right, now that you guys just see what I'm doing here, I'm just putting your basic snowflakes in here. I will probably back these with a dark color so that the light blue and the white show up. Any not perfect one, I'm just trying to throw away here or put off into my low trash can. So we got that one. Just trying to make sure I have an even amount of the numbers here. Almost done. 2 more. Let's do 1 more of the light blue, or 2 more pairs, I should say. What's fun about these is you can either give them away as gifts. These are great stocking stuffers, but they're also good if you wanted to sell them at Christmas craft fairs. You can put them in like sets of 3, and that way people are getting a good selection. So if you do different designs, gives them more choice. Now these little penguins are so cute. Can you see how tiny those are? So what we're going to do is just pop them right in the squares. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. That guy looks big. Let's pop him in this square down here. They are adorable. And because this mold is fairly shallow, your fillers don't float as much. So, super fun. Okay, so I'm gonna finish filling these up and then I'll be right back with you on the next row, or what I'm gonna put in next for the other decorations on the earrings. All right, I'll be right back with you guys. All right, so I did put some little like white, like little snowballs, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and back these with dark blue. That's just kind of been my thought. Now, because these guys up here in this row are really tiny, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put just a few, I'm pouring some, these are just little crystal beads, okay? Then you're gonna grab a toothpick, a very thin point dotting tool, whatever you have in your stash. And what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna dip it just a little bit in the resin so it has something on the edge, and then I'm just gonna dip it into the stones and then back in. And you may get a few more of these gems or these little bubble stones. I don't know what to call them. I got them off Temu for like 45 cents. But you can always take some out if need be, add more. And remember, we're gonna back these, so it's okay if you have a few more in there. I'm gonna try and do this without getting my head in there in your guys' view. So this kind of makes quick work by dipping your tool and then just putting it right back in the spot. Normally you want to kind of clean your tool before you go to the next piece. If you're working with color, or some people like to say, clean your stick before you dip. But in this case, this actually having the resin on the tip of your tool helps. So, and then by putting a really cool, like if we're going to do a blue, like a darker blue background, oh, we don't want to go too dark because with the black of the penguins, we want to kind of keep those, we want the black to come through. Come on, guys. You know what? I'm going to put those down here. Almost done with these little guys, so it does really make quick work here. And the little stuff, of course, is going to stick better to your tool than the bigger pieces, which is fine. Now I'm also going to go ahead and we will add these to, we're going to go ahead and add these to the triangles as well. See, where did I drop that? Out of my glove. And that guy wants to go, and it's okay if you get a few extras, kind of like when you find a curly fry in your French fries and it's like bonus, especially if you're making your earrings where they're all going to be kind of themed, which I'm going to try and do that today. So if everything's kind of like the snowflakes and the black and the white, and it'll work good with a blue background, then I'm not really concerned if it mixes and matches. I do want to make sure these go on the right ones. And of course, your eyeballs can go a little funky on you, especially if you're, ooh, I got a hair. Hold up, hold up. Let me wipe that off. Grab these. sometimes you just kind of have a little patience. Now, I am a shaker. It's just kind of a byproduct of my medication, or a side effect, I should say. So I am not the steadiest hand. That's okay. Resin can be forgiving, or at least these projects are, not always. So I try to stick to things that it's not going to matter if I shake or if it's slightly imperfect, it's okay. And it's okay too if you've got resin all over your tools, and I'm getting it in this little bin because I like to keep little thing of alcohol right next to me, and I can just clean my tools really easily. Oh no, I didn't mean to put that in there. That was a big glob. Oh well. Happy accident. We'll make a little pair of these crystals in the, I guess we'll just kind of get rid of these crystals in this little dish here. So we'll put some in there, put some here. And we will do a little more in here. All right. Now the next thing I'm going to use is, you may not be thinking about it, but actually first, because it's going to drive me nuts if I don't, let me go ahead, since I have a whole bunch of stuff in this little jar, I'm just going to take a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to clean it out. There we go. That way it'll be fresh and ready for my next innards if I need this little jar. Okay, interesting. Now we are going to go ahead and I'm going to finish off this row right here using Dollar Tree snow. That's right, fake snow from the Dollar Tree that I still had left over from crafts last year is going to go right into here. You guys check this out. So easy, especially with the dark background we're gonna do. It's gonna just really provide, it's gonna make a really cool pair of earrings here. This fake snow is almost has some rainbow little mylar pieces in it. So like right here, or it's kind of hard to see, but beautiful. When the light hits it just right, it's perfect. I'm just gonna try and get it all off my tool here. Just need a tiny bit more. Okay. Now our next filler here is we have some really cute, you can just tell my penguins here, really cute penguins right here that have little hats like Santa hats. So we are just going to pop them. Oh my gosh, that is too cute. One right there and one right there. And we're just going to kind of go down the line and make these into some earrings here. Put some there. These guys. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do one more. 6. Oh, why not just finish? Because these are so cute. Cute thing about these is since they're double-sided, it really doesn't matter, at least for this particular one, doesn't really matter which side you're putting up. That guy there, and we'll do one more here. Okay, now if you notice any of your guys floating, just push them down. If you need to cover them up a little bit with some resin, go for it. Now because my resin's been sitting for about 20 minutes, it's getting nice and thicker. So my little fillings, if they try to float or as I'm adding them, they should for the most part now try like stay where I want them to stay. Just depends. Okay. Get that guy, get that guy. Okay. Let's go. And I got this like little set of polymer clay slices off of Amazon. So let's see. Let's put some in here. I'm gonna put some little trees in my tray. And let's do our next round will be the trees, and they should fit perfectly right in that spot. Ugh, I am just having a little bit of a difficult time with these guys today. Little polymer clay slices, some can be very thick, some can be thin. So it's just one of those, you don't quite know what you're gonna get. And also sometimes the polymer clay slices, especially if you get them on a good deal, they're probably on sale for a reason, or if that company just tends to make a lot in bulk, you might end up getting some funky cartoonish ones. I have had to throw little categories away because I knew I would never use them in any of my crafts because of how they looked, but I usually pay so little for my supplies that I'm not too concerned that it's a waste of money, because it's usually like everything I threw away probably cost me 3 cents. So not too concerned. And one more tree. Got those trees done. All right, guys. So now what we're gonna do is do these cute little Santa heads. And I'm just going to, pop them in first, and then I'll use my tweezers to push them down. And arrange them how I want them. And then before we do that, to push them down, I'm going to put some Santa heads in the last, or Santa hats. And these. And again, make sure you just push them down as much as you can. These guys are thick, which is fine. Some like I was saying, some polymer clay slices will be thicker than others. Just depends on how the manufacturing plant was that day. And just get those to where you want them. Now for these last big square ones down here, I'm going to probably try to take a little bit more time to see how I want these to go, because I'm kind of thinking I might be able to do a cool little scene. We'll see. Okay, so first let's try and do a little tree in the bottom left corner. And then what we're gonna do is probably try and put in something up in the other corner. We'll see how this works. Haven't done it before, so we shall see. Might be super cute. I have an idea it will be, especially once we back them. Again, I'm thinking with these, well, actually, now that I'm thinking about the Santa, I don't know if I want dark blue on the Santas, so we may have a couple different backgrounds. Okay, so we got these guys in. These guys are going to float a little bit. Let me push them down. And then we will come in with a few other things and see what we can do. All right, let's bring these darker blue ones in. Put that guy right there. Let's put one right there. One right there. So we'll just go ahead and put these in the corner of the rest of them. And then I still think I'm going to want one more element to these little square ones, but it won't be bad. It won't be super, don't think it's going to be that intensive. Okay. I'm going to bring in my dotting tool back and let's use the finer spot. I'm just going to dip it in the bag. Let's put some down here, almost like a little bit of snow on the bottom of these. They float, they float. We don't do perfect here. I do not do perfect. If you watch any Maymay Helms videos or Maymay Made It, you will hear that a lot. I do not do perfect. Or she says, I don't do perfect, because she's from Alabama and has a much better accent than I do. All right, we've got just a couple more. And then we are done with the actual longest part. And that's just putting all the little pieces in. So it probably took me about 30 minutes to fill these all with what I wanted. Okay. All right, so now we're just gonna go ahead and let these set and we will be back to put the backings on. All right, guys, and we are back. It's been a little over 4 hours. So even though this isn't hard, you don't want to be trying to demold them at this point, but it is okay for another layer to where they won't mix together. So I have gone ahead and made up a little more 2-part epoxy. Probably made up way more than I need, but that's okay. I can always pour the extra into other molds. I did 10 milliliters of part A, 10 milliliters of part B, and then I did a sky blue mica powder in this one. And then in this cup, I did a pearl red color. So I'm kind of hoping that this is going to really mesh well with some of these. I don't know if that's going to be too pink. I don't know. We shall see. This was either a good idea or a bad one. So first, let's get rid of some of this. This one's kind of full. So what I'm going to do is just use my popsicle stick here and just kind of drizzle some in. I don't want to go too fast because I do want to make sure that I don't dome these too much. You can put too much on the back. It can happen, and then when you go to put your studs on, it's just a little overcrowded. So just try, you will get a tiny bit of shrinkage with your epoxy, not a lot, so don't rely on that. So this is just how we're gonna fill these up. We're just gonna kind of try and fill them up as much to the top as we can without over doming them. Okay. So I think I'm gonna do another set, another pair in this blue background for the trees with the blue snowflake and that Dollar Tree fake snow on the ground. And then the other ones, we will go ahead and cover with the red. I don't want to scratch this. I feel like I'm overfilling these. That's okay. They're just going to be filled with love. Okay, and while I still have my blue in my hand, let's go ahead and we'll fill some of these guys. And then once these are all filled up with the right amount on the back, then I will just wait 24 hours and then I'll show you what I do to put the backs on them. And that'll be it. So let's go ahead, grab our pearl with red. And I'm hoping that this will be really pretty for the background of these little scene I made here. And the reason I'm putting a back on, like a colored backing, is because I don't want you to be able to see the studs. My earring studs are silver. I don't really want that back to be visible from the earring. So that's why I want to do a coat. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish backing these up. And then next time you see me, it will be 24 hours and we'll start demolding. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit, guys. And we are back. So through the magic of editing, it's been just a split second for you guys. It's been over 24 hours for these to cure. So right now, I'm gonna show you how I put backs on my earrings. So we're gonna be using UV Resin. And this is Let's Resin brand. This is their clear hard type. And what I like to do is pour some into a little silicone bowl. And it's okay if you pour a little more than you need. Whoa, that's a lot more than I need. That's all right though, because you can just pour it right back in the bottle. We're not adding any additives to it. My silicone bowl is clean, so we are good to go. I just need a few paper towels here. And always keep your little pump bottle of alcohol handy, just so you can do any fast cleanups if you need to. And I always like to wipe off the tops of I am ridiculously clean. It drives me nuts when my supplies are messy. So, okay. So I am using this various size earring stud pack that I got off Amazon. I'll link everything that I'm using down in the description. So I'm not going to have you sit through all of these, but I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of what I do. So I'm going to take the smallest ones, and because we're using UV resin and it needs a UV light to cure, my UV light is right here. And so it's got a certain width to it that my mold this way doesn't necessarily like. It doesn't go in. So what I like to do is try and put my posts on working this way from the width or the height of the mold, whichever you want to call it. That way, when I'm ready, I can slip it in this way and just do like half. So it's just easier for me with what I have. If you have a different UV light that stands and you can fit your whole mold in, go for it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I put a little UV resin in here, and we will work with, actually, I prefer to go from left to right. So we're just gonna dab the back in and just place it right on there, just like that. Now, if you are a shaker like me and you don't quite get it right, or if it's overfilled and it's sliding and you just wanna make sure, move this out of the way, but grab a little UV flashlight, make sure it's not on your little bowl of UV resin over there. And you only need a couple seconds and it's stiff. So it just kind of locks it in place. You're gonna run through your batteries if you set all of your earring posts for the full amount of cure time with that little flashlight. So just know you only need it just to kind of set it where you want those backs to go. And after you do a couple and you get your rows in, then you can go ahead and cure your UV resin just for this step. Then we're gonna come back in, put a little more UV resin on the backs. That guy is gonna wanna slide. So that way we can just put a little bit of UV resin on the back to really secure those studs. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and finish putting the studs on, and I'll be right back to show you guys how they look like before I cure them. All right, my light just went off. So as you can see, what I did was I worked from the left side, did this row, and I just kind of worked my way down to about halfway through and over to the right. Sorry, my dogs are freaking out over whatever. So these are nice, and I put them in 90 seconds under the UV light after just flashing them with a couple seconds of my flashlight. So that's step one. Now step two is to come back in, and you may say, oh, this is a necessary step. That's up to you. Me personally, what I like to do is come back in with like a dotting tool, and I will dip it in my UV resin, and then I'll just kind of put extra UV resin right here on that earring back, just to really solidify these earring backs. You can see some of my earring backs got a little wonky. That's all right. I don't do perfect. So I just go and I dot the UV resin through, make sure the little backs are covered. I don't need to cover the entire earring itself, just the back of like the stud, the silver part. I like to just spread it out and make sure that everything is nice and glued in. And then I will pop these under the lights for another 90 seconds. And then probably once I do this side, I will flip them upside down, and I will actually cure from the flip side under a UV lamp, just to make sure any UV resin that might be hanging around behind this earring back, hopefully it'll cure it all. So I didn't do my little spiel in the beginning, but I'm gonna do it now. All resin, 2-part UV, it is toxic in its uncured form. UV resin will not cure until UV light touches it. So if you have a stinky UV resin, you leave it in a bowl, it's gonna stay stinky. So make sure you're in a ventilated area. Make sure that you are wearing proper protective equipment, which could be your gloves. They recommend masks. If that's something that you feel you want to do, definitely use the PPE that you feel comfortable with. I myself keep my room very ventilated, and when I'm especially taping or recording, I'm old. When I'm recording, I don't wear a mask when I'm dealing with large volumes of resin, I wear all the proper equipment. Just have to do my little protective spiel, because no matter what they say, non-toxic resin, all resin is toxic in uncured form. Period. Full stop. Okay, so again, just to keep this video as short as possible, already going a little longer than I wanted, I'm going to pause you guys. I'm going to finish up putting what I need on the backs of these, and then I will cure it. All right, I'll be right back. See you guys soon. I am back with all of the backs on these earrings. I did phase 1 and 2, so they are all nice and secure with the studs. One of the good things about this little earring stud kit is not only does it have 5 different sizes for the backs, but then you can also do the rubber backings and the butterfly, the normal butterfly. I usually do one of each if I'm putting them out for sale or gifting. That way the receiver has their choice. So if you guys are ready, let's start. I'm not going to demold all of them, just I will show you guys what the different colors look like. So first, these are those very tiny ones, the very top row, and these are what we put those little bubbles in. So let me see, I'm not sure, can you see? These are so small, but you can kind of see those little bubble beads just give a really cool texture inside of these, and these have that blue background. And then we'll pick up some of this was the mica powder with the pearl red. And I did get a little bit of overspill on these, but first let me just show you how they came out. So a little bit of a pinky tone. It's kind of hard to pick up on the camera there. Anyways, okay, so if you do have overhang, just get yourself a little nail file and it'll just come right off, and you can just file this down and it'll just you can get those little overhangs taken off. Okay, our next one is, let's do the next row down. So these had the little snowflakes in them. So these are the little blue snowflakes. Don't know, with the bigger earrings you'll be able to see, but there's this really pretty sparkle going on. So those are the blue snowflakes, and then this is the white snowflake. Oh, I love those. You guys see those? With the pretty blue background on that. Oh, I love those. All right, next row, let's pull out these were the penguins. One of the cool thing about this mold is it almost amplifies the little filler that you put in there, makes them look a little bigger. The cute penguins. And then on this side, we did just like the little snowballs, which those look cool. From the side, you can see they're kind of floating in there. Those are really cute. And the next row were these little triangles that I think we ended up, yep, we put those little bubble beads in there. So if you can see that. And then we'll do the white mica powder ones. Those are pretty, just a little hint of texture inside those. Those are pretty. Okay, next row. Again, just the little, oh no, this was the snow. This was the Dollar Tree snow, the fake snow. Really pretty. Remember I told you there was like those rainbow mylar pieces. Those are pretty. I really like those. And then we'll do the pearl white mica powder with that Dollar Tree snow. You can't really tell. Oh, I got a couple bubbles in there. You see that? Like the bubble beads. Those are cute. All right, next row. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, can you guys see? I'm gonna try and get that as close as I can. Can you see that adorable penguin with his little Santa hat? The really, I don't know if the camera is picking up that blue sparkle, but oh, I love that blue. This was the sky blue mica powder. I love how that came out. And then this side was the little pearl mica powder. So that definitely, you can kind of see that pink hue in there, but I love it. I think it looks great. Okay, 3 more rows. And actually I think I won't even have to show you 2 because all of these were, the Christmas trees were all backed with the same mica. Cute, cute, cute. All right, the next row was, I think these are the these are the Santa heads. The really big Santa heads that just kind of took up that whole mold, which I love, 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 love. Cute little Santa studs. And then we'll do the, I think these one were the little Santa hats. Yep. Oh my goodness, so cute. Oh my gosh. Super cute. And it really does have a gorgeous sparkle in person. It's not super strong glittery, it's just like a really pretty sparkle. All right, then these were, oh yeah, this was the little penguin when I had that big penguin when I was filling them up here. So I made one little earring. You can really see the blue sparkle. Oh, so pretty. And this one obviously will have some overhang that I will fix. And then we will do, I will show you. So I was a little worried doing the blue background with the dark blue snowflake, but I think it translated well. And you can really see the snowflake, and you really can see that the Dollar Tree snow in there. So I really like these with the blue background. Just a really pretty, sparkly scene. I was very happy with how those came out. And then, oh, and this is the ones, last ones. These are the ones that I just backed. Same thing, little scene, and we just did the backing of the pearl white and red mica. So cute. All right, guys, so there's your stud earrings. Now this mold, I counted them up. Remember, these 2 rows have an odd one out, so without these, this mold will make a complete 52 pairs of stud earrings. So just made 52 pairs of stud earrings in probably just over maybe an hour, hour and a half, just because I was really taking my time on these. So there you have it. I think I'm very happy, actually not think, I know, I'm very happy with how these came out, and I hope you guys think they're cute too. Thank you so much for hanging in there. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and have a very creative time. I have no idea. That was not the most smooth way to end a video. I'm out. Bye, guys.